Arka Tech has been the student newspaper here at Arkansas Tech since 1923. August 1923, the first issue was printed, which means we're only months away from celebrating the 100th anniversary of the Arka Tech. As the advisor, I do what that title kind of implies. I offer advice to the editors and the staff. Sometimes they take my advice, sometimes they don't. But the point is that they are the ultimate authorities of the newspaper. They're the ones that make the day-to-day decisions regarding content, and that's the way it should be. It's not my newspaper or the university's newspaper, it is the students' newspaper.
I am the editor-in-chief, and my role is to organize the staff members and to edit the paper. We put together everything on Tuesday and it goes out on Thursdays.
So I'm the editor of the Arka Tech, and essentially Tara's the editor-in-chief, which means that she works primarily on the newspaper side of things, and I do more kind of the digital stuff. So I've been focusing a lot on podcasting and radio type things as of late. I also help Tara with newspaper things such as editing and helping her with headlines and stuff.
A print major specifically, I think, will find themselves in courses that are really heavy on writing. That's kind of the backbone of the print option area. And so being involved with the Arka Tech and any of its varied platforms gives them that opportunity to write. What this really allows students to do is get that hands-on experience. Yes, we're trying to teach them skills in the classroom, and those are important, but then they need to really hone those skills in some type of real-world environment. And as I often tell students, maybe working for the Arka Tech isn't exactly the real world, but sometimes it comes pretty darn close.
My goal is to one day write for a newspaper, so I can't think of any better way to prepare for my career than to write for the Arka Tech. You know, writing for the newspaper just gives me a taste of what I'm going to be doing for my life, in just like a few years from now. So it's really great to get some experience in that area, in that field,
When I was a freshman, I was very terrified to speak to strangers. And now, being a senior and all, I've gotten so much better at, walking up to people, introducing myself, telling them what I'm interested in writing, what my angle is. I've met a lot of people through the Arka Tech, on the newspaper and off the newspaper. I've talked to different department heads. I've, kind of gotten a good feel for the university and people and how they act, and that's something I really appreciate and will take with me once I graduate.
If you would have told me freshman year that I would get to work on the sidelines of a football game, I probably would not have believed you. If you would have told me that I would get to meet Dr. Bowen, Melanie, or Sam, or any of those people, I've been like, no, you're crazy. But no, networking and making connections have been amazing, and that's been awesome.
For students that want to get involved with the Arka Tech that may not have a journalism background, may not be interested in going into journalism, they need to know that we are much, much more than just a printed newspaper that comes out once a week. We have a website that we update on a regular basis. We have social media platforms that we're providing content for. We have added a weekly radio newscast. And this fall, we plan to finally get some podcasting off the ground. So we have multiple platforms that people can be involved in.
I still am in the journalism umbrella. I'm a broadcast journalist. So a newspaper, it's not the specific field that I'm going into, but it is still in the journalism field. And even though I'm not going into print journalism, that experience with editing and making stories and choosing which stories to put on the air, all of that is contributing towards ultimately what's going to be my major.
It's important for students to have a chance to be involved in something that gives them a voice. And that's really what I think student-led media does. It gives students a chance to be a voice on campus.
We are the student newspaper. We represent the students. We're student-led. We don't have any big influences from the university. We're allowed to publish what we kind of feel is the topic of the day. Sometimes that backfires, sometimes it doesn't. But it's important because you guys go to school here and you should be able to express your thoughts and your opinions.